I met a gypsy.
It must be kind of gnarly to be, I guess, in your position to have not only the eyeballs, but I feel like just your style of content, it's so polarizing. So you pretty much can't not have 50% of people think you're a dickhead.
You love or hate it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's what happens, mate. Is you're spot on. You know, I meet people, they're like, oh, I thought you would have just been like a dick. I'm like, why? And they're like, oh, I just. I'm like, you're actually a cool person. You're really chill. And I'm like, yeah. It's like,
I think everyone gets that impression. Like, even before I started working for like you or Shami, I literally had the same impression. Like, I was just like,
everyone does,
these guys
man.
are just going to be
Everyone
stuck
does.
up dicks. I don't know why. It's just what's in your head.
no, I remember when I lived in the UK when I was 18. You know, I was working in pubs and bars. This is back when like Geordie Shore was still a fucking huge thing.
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
these things, and some of them would come down to Cardiff where I lived in Wales and be like partying there. And I used to think like they probably so like up themselves, they're probably dicks. Met a couple of them and they were nice as hell. You know, really nice people off the cameras and shit like that. And it's not that I put on an act for my content. It's just that we just ramp it up a bit.
Well, you're playing a character, and I think like even for when you're off camera and in here you're making sounds in the microphone, it's like there's something about you that's kind of an entertainer.
Yeah,
like
just entertainer at heart. Just want to
Yeah.
be a weirdo. You know what I mean? And it's like I feel like a lot of us boys nowadays we're probably more fucked up off camera. You know what I mean? Because you can't. There's a lot of shit you can't do anymore, like on camera and post and stuff without getting fucking cancelled by the cancel culture. But I don't know. I feel like it's not like I'm not trying to sound like an arrogant cunt, but I feel like it's hard to get cancelled when you don't really care. It's you can't cancel someone who's happily playing the role of a villain. You know what I mean? It's like, cool, come cancel me. I haven't been like racist or crazy homophobic or anti-religion or anything like that.
I'd say you're encouraging gay behavior.
I am, if
as
anything.
well.
I love gay people.
We kiss more than we should on camera.
We kiss daily off camera.
I think it's completely fine.
I'm like, hey, how are you? And on the lips.
Yeah.
It's like, it is what it is. Like, I'm friends with gay people. I'm friends with all kinds of people. It's like, fucking whatever. Just whatever you want to be, you be that. And so, fuck it.
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, people probably just don't understand that there's, like, you're just probably a guy looking for an outlet, you know what I mean? You've got, like, this weird sense of humor. You've always, assuming as a kid, you always would have been kind of like over the top and acting shit out and
Class
theatrical.
clown.
Yeah. I mean, that's like an archetype of a person, and those kind of people end up, they kind of end up finding a lane, you know, like you can look at like Logan Paul, or you can look at those guys, like they just, like I personally was never the like a acting kind of person, or like I wanted to perform for people, but I love being real creative and I love like directing things. So I mean, that's like my outlet. I mean, everyone's kind of got their thing, and I just think that I guess the influences that you had and the I guess like the places you're in, the people you're around, like that outlet came out as, you know, this character, which you fucking play well, and it's a profitable character.
That's the thing, mate. It's like I am being myself at heart. You know what I mean? It's just like sometimes I'll ramp it up a bit, sometimes I'll ramp it down a bit. You know, I know how to turn it on, turn it off, and it's like, you know, sometimes people get a bit over. Sometimes, like, if like we're hungover and shit, I'm still running around the house like I'm fucking running around blind drunk on meth. You know what I mean? I'm still like that. If people are hungover, they can't be around me sometimes, because I will just be dry humping everyone and fucking running around and singing and screaming and carrying like a child. And it's just who I am, you know? Like, I've got high energy and stuff, and it's definitely chilled out over the years a bit. But yeah, it's you either got it or you don't. You're just born like it, or
and then it just kind of, you lean into that as a, like you would have seen an opening with the whole Instagram thing, and I'm sure too, man, like even when you were like working in a bar meeting the Jersey Shore dudes or whatever, there's just a charisma that where people are going to gravitate towards you, and you're going to end up hanging out with people. It's just, I just feel like your personality is just kind of perfectly.
It's a 50-50 thing. People either love it or hate it. You know, people that I've never met, people that have never actually met me in person, might come and go, this guy's a flog or a fuckwit. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, when have you met me? You know? Like, you judging it off of a video of me throwing some shit on one of my friends. Like, who doesn't do that at some stage? If you don't prank your friends, like, you're not friends. You fuck with your friends. That's what you do. Like, there's a fine line between disrespecting and being over the top, as opposed to, like, I wouldn't do shit to him that I know is going to really fuck with him, you know?
Or that you wouldn't be able to have him do to you.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like but then you get random people, you know, who will come up and they'll have their phones going, oh, Jackson, get in the bin, And I'm like, why? They're like, you won't do it. And I'm like, why would I jump in the bin? They're like, well, you do it all the time. I'm like, me and my friends do it. Like, I don't know you. Like, no disrespect. I'm not trying to be cool or anything, but like, I don't know you. Like, I'm not going to run up to you and tell you to fucking get in the bin. Like, people think, like, if I don't jump in the bin, then I'm not funny and I'm so different. And, like,
yeah. It's kind of like the comedian sort of deal where you're a stand-up comic and
Yeah,
someone
tell me a
sees you.
joke.
Tell me a fucking joke, bro.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Just that
well, it's
same
like,
sort of shit.
some random might come up and try to prank me or fuck with me, and then if I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? They're just like, oh, you can do it and you can't take it. I'm like, when have I ever done shit to people that I don't know? You know?
Yeah,
Like, if I do anything in public, it'll be just being weird. It would never in a million years would I fucking touch someone, throw some shit on anybody, fuck with anyone like that. It would be me pretending to be on a phone or me just saying weird shit to creep people out. I would never touch someone or fuck with people like that physically and stuff, because you just can't do that.
Yeah.
And, people might try to fuck with me, but it hasn't happened really. It happened like once or twice years and years ago, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And they're like, oh, you do it like on your videos. And I'm like, yeah, not to people I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're really serious in real life. I'm like, it's just like,
well, that's because it's called real life.
yeah, it's like, would you walk up to
Legit.
fucking Wolverine and fucking ask him to get his claws out of his hands? That's a movie. Obviously, I'm on a small scale compared to that shit, but it's like walking up to a fucking Eric Batter and saying, turn into the Hulk, cunt. You're heaps different. Like, it's so different.
You're so much different.
You're
than
way
the
better
Hulk,
in the
bro.
movies.
You're heaps better in the movies, cunt. Like, relax. This is social media. Yes, it's fucking nothing compared to movies, but it's a similar principle.
The
It's
concept's
like,
the same.
it's like people get these misconceptions of like, oh, he's either going to be a fucking prick or he's not. And at the end of the day, bro, there is a lot of pricks in this world, in this business as well. You meet a lot of arrogant, fucking stuck-up dicks people who genuinely forget where they came from, forget that without their fans, without their followers, supporters, and all this, they wouldn't be able to do what they did.
Yeah.
Like me, bro, I regularly thank the people that follow me and support me, and I say, without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this shit. I like to give back where I can give back to, whether it's charities or visiting sick kids or flying out fans and stuff to events or giving money back here and there on little public things and stuff. And, then there's a lot of people who will blow up and be like, oh no, I made it all by myself. Everyone else can get fucked, and use their audience like, I don't know, like against them kind of thing. It's just weird, but
Yeah.
I can see why people would think that, and it's fair. I don't think any less of people for thinking that.
Have you ever struggled with the ego side of it, and has your ego ever got out of control?
I don't know. I like shrooms a lot and stuff like that. Like, not that I don't do a lot of tripping and shit, but I have, and like I've experimented with a lot of crazy shit over the years, and I feel a few years ago doing shrooms, man, it's like I feel like it detached me from myself to an extent where it's like it almost made me not myself a lot anymore, to the point where I'm like, I'm not as fucked up but I feel like I'm a lot better of a person than what I was. I feel even though I'm not making as much content or not going crazy as viral, or maybe I've got different interests now, I'm getting older and stuff, and it's like I'm not ashamed of that. I don't regret anything. I'm happy with the person I am, the person I'm becoming. You got to evolve and grow and change, and you can't just keep doing the same shit forever. Like, I mean, not me anyway. It's not what I want. So with the ego side of things, not really like, I wouldn't say it's been to the point where it's been an issue for me at all now.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.